Welcome to Moments with Vanessa TV, a platform that inspires conversations around our emotional and mental well-being. Be inspired.
Hi everyone, good evening. Good evening. If you're live with me, please say something on the comment section. Yay. If you're live with me, please say something in the comment section for me to know that you are live with me. Welcome, Dr. Chidiebere.
Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you. It's great to be here.
All right. So I'll give it a little time for people to join us. And I want to welcome everyone who has joined us at this moment. You're all welcome to the April edition of Winning Through the Battles of the Mind monthly online series. I'll say welcome to Dr. Chieso, Isaac Nwaha, Timothy Possible. You're welcome. Yes. Good evening, everyone. You're welcome to the April edition of Winning Through the Battles of the Mind, just as I said earlier. Now, before we start, I would like to give a brief introduction on what Moments with Vanessa is about, just for the benefit of those who are just joining us this month. Moments with Vanessa is a platform that is focused on inspiring conversations around our emotional and mental well-being. The vision is to raise extraordinary, impactful, and confident people in our generation. Our mission is to create a sustainable support network that encourages people who find themselves at any point in their lives, either emotionally or mentally. If you find yourself at a low point in your life, either emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually, we encourage you to share your struggles freely with us without any feeling of being judged, and yet you gain all-round support. So this is what we represent. We've gone ahead to birth a lot of other sectors in Moments with Vanessa. We have the Safe Creep family. It's actually a family in the true sense of its word. In that platform, in that group, what we do is it's more like creating a safe space, a non-judgmental space. A lot of people bottle up a lot inside because they don't trust people. They don't know the right channel to share their struggles. So in that platform, we made it in such a way that it's a safe space. People go through struggles and they can't wait to come there and unburden. They share their wins, they share their celebrations with us, and they share their struggles with us. I keep saying, even if I don't succeed in every other aspect of Moments with Vanessa, I'm so proud of what I've been able to create in the Safe Creep family. It's a safe zone where people share their struggles, their wins, their celebrations, and they get all-round support. Then we have the Safe Place Let's Talk, which is the physical program or the physical aspect of Moments with Vanessa. It was planned or proposed to hold 3 times a year physically, but at the moment it's on hold. Not necessarily on hold, but the pandemic slowed it down for the year 2020. It held in the year 2019, but in the year 2020, the pandemic, slowed it down, so it didn't hold. And early this year, I relocated to England. So at the moment, I'm still working out that aspect, but that is supposed to be the physical program on the Moment with Vanessa, where people can share their struggles and gain support, and also gain possible mentors. We recently launched the Moment with Vanessa book club. That was launched late last year. Exactly, it was launched a day after the last Saturday, which was the Saturday that we had the Moment with Vanessa, the Winning Through the Battles of the Mind series in the month of March. It was recently launched, and we have the book review for the month is currently ongoing, and every Friday from 8 p.m. till 9:30 p.m. the book review holds, and it's been amazing. It's been fun. For those who are part of the book club, you can attest to that. And I'll be giving out I'd like every single person who is active today to pay attention, because I'll be giving out a free slot to join the book club right on this program. So if you like to join the book club, just pay attention to everything Dr. Chidiebere will be talking to us today on, because I'll ask questions, and those who get it will get a free slot to join the book club, the Moments with Vanessa book club. Then we have the teenager circle. It's majorly focused on the teenagers, where they also share their struggles. The teenagers go through a lot. The love I have, or what led me to open that sector, is that I started out working with teenagers, going to schools, going to secondary schools, speaking to them. And there's a lot that teenagers bottle up simply because of the type of parents they have. They don't have the right channel to actually share those struggles, because believe it or not, the teenage stage of everyone at their teenage stage went through one form of pressure, one form of peer pressure or the other. Some scale through it, while some were not successful enough to scale through that stage. So that platform is where they share their struggles, and get all-round support too, and also possible mentors too. That's the aim. Then we have the Moment with Vanessa WhatsApp group. Activities go on there. The Learning Tuesday, we have the Games Thursday, and some other activities too. Then, of course, the one we are actually attending to, the reason why we are actually here right now, the Winning Through the Battles of the Mind online series. It holds every last Saturday of the month. And the aim of this particular online series is to make us understand, or to actually emphasize on the fact that every single person goes through the battles of the mind. The issues around the mind is a very serious one, but often overlooked, often least talked about, and all that. So the aim is to actually emphasize that every single person undergoes the battles of the mind, including the ones we perceive as successful. So the aim is to bring in men and women from all over the world who we perceive as successful, to let us understand that thing that is going on with you at your private corner in your home, they also went through it, or they are also going through it. But the difference is that they didn't let it limit them. They didn't let it stop them. They did not allow it to destroy them. They actually walk through them. So they share their personal experiences, their life struggles, whatever it is that they've gone through in life, and the principles that have helped them this far, the principles that have helped them to win through these battles of the mind, so that you will understand that it is not about you. Because sometimes when people reach out to me for counseling, they'll be like, it cannot happen to any other person. It's happening because of me. I've heard it from different people on different occasions. And this is to let you know that whatever is going on with you, a lot of other people are going through the same thing. Then we have the Gist with Vanessa and Esther. It holds every second Sunday of the month. Esther is a relationship coach. She's a US certified relationship coach. So every second Sunday of the month, we meet on our Instagram handle. Mine is Nessa_Nadi. Every second Sunday of the month at 5 p.m., we have conversations, informal, random conversations on relationship, love, and marriage. Every single thing about it, because it is my belief that for you to be in a good place emotionally and mentally, your relationship, your marriage, at least should be in a good place. Because whoever you're emotionally invested in, when you're angry with the person, or when things are not going on in that area, it comes with weight, because you're emotionally invested in the person. The way you be angry with your friend, or the way you be angry with an acquaintance, is different from the way the anger for somebody that you're emotionally connected to will be. So that's the essence of that collaboration between Moments with Vanessa and the ladies Let's Talk International. That is why we brought that program to talk about it. Then we have our YouTube channel, Moments with Vanessa TV. We have amazing content right there. I'll encourage us to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you see a lot of content. Then we have our Instagram handle, moments_with_Vanessa. We have our Facebook page, Moments with Vanessa. Then we have our Facebook group where we are having this program right now, Moments with Vanessa Tribe. If you like to reach out to me, you want to be part of the workforce of Moments with Vanessa brand, you could send an email to momentswithvanessa@gmail.com. You'll definitely get a response. If you like to reach out to me for counseling, if you like to be part of the workforce, anything at all, or you want to speak to me, send an email to momentswithvanessa@gmail.com. So at this moment, I would like us to, move into the business of the day so that we don't spend I'd like us to move into the business of the day, which is our April edition of Winning Through the Battles of the Mind. And today we have Dr. Chidiebere Nwachukwu. He is popularly known as the Mind Doctor, as I talked about it when I shared a brief profile of who he is. So I'm going to read it out for us to understand the person we have here for our April edition. So Dr. Chidiebere Nwachukwu is actually a mind management expert. He's a motivational speaker, and he's also a medical doctor. Just as I said, he's popularly known as the Mind Doctor. He's the founder of Mind Clinic, and it's an organization that is duly registered with Nigeria Corporate Affairs Commission. And it is actually his total belief that everyone has in them what it takes to succeed and lead an exceptional life, which is the liberated mind. It is his conviction that the mind is the centerpiece for human existence. However, this latent ability is sandwiched within layers of negative information and perception of oneself encoded in the individual's mind by external influence ranging from family to life experiences and societal factors from birth to date. He's also the founder of REMA, which is Relationship, Health and Marriage Advice, which is a subsidiary of Mind Clinic, with a unique goal of addressing matters regarding relationship, health, courtship, marriage, sex, and life. So now we understand who we have in our April edition of Winning Through the Battles of the Mind. His name is Dr. Chidiebere Nwachukwu. So at this moment, I'm going to give him the floor. Usually, I don't like to restrict the speakers. I would like the speakers to flow and actually, communicate with the audience. Then if there are questions, we'll definitely ask the questions and he will answer. So just as I said at the beginning, I would like us to be as attentive as possible, because there will be I'll be giving out free slots to the Moment with Vanessa book club when I ask questions and if you get the answer. So Dr. Chidiebere, you're welcome to this month's edition. You have the floor right now. You may proceed.
Thank you very much, Vanessa.
Yeah.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. I'd like to appreciate you for giving me this wonderful opportunity to speak to the people here at Moments with Vanessa. I think it's a great privilege. I just got to know you not too long ago, and here comes this collaboration. Thanks a lot, Vanessa, and you've been doing a great job here. I sat down listening. In fact, I didn't know you had all these things packaged. I've been on the Facebook platform, and that's more of what I've always known. Just recently, in the last 1 or 2 weeks, that I got to find out that you also had a safe family crib. So you're doing a great job, and thank you. Well done with that. She already said so much about me already. My name is Dr. Chidiebere Nwachukwu, popularly known as the Mind Doctor, because of what I do here on social media space. I'm a medical doctor by profession as well. Tonight, we'll be discussing something that is very personal to me, something I find to be the source of failure in many people's lives. What would make some people to get to the end of their lives and feel like they have failed and feel like they've not used up everything that was put in them? And the topic for tonight is fearless living. I don't know if Dr. Vanessa can put it up on the banner. Fearless living. You see, the Oxford Dictionary defines fear as an unpleasant emotion that comes about by, or that brings about fear, the danger of threat, harm, or pain. So once a person is afraid, once the person feels that he could be in danger of pain, harm, or hurt, that person has a tendency to become afraid. And fearlessness was defined as the lack of fear. Now, it is actually hard to find someone who is totally fearless. We all have different fears. We all have things that we face and we find it hard to pull through. I could be fearless in a certain aspect of my life, but then when you come to another aspect, there is so much fear there. I could be fearless when it comes to writing, and you read my write-ups and you're like, this guy is good. But when you hear me speak, you might see fear right there in me. And so I'm going to share two experiences that I've had in my lifetime so far that has shaped my perception towards fear and how I grew and rose above them to get to where I am today and to achieve the things that I have been able to achieve. I'd like to tell you a story, a short story about myself. You see, growing up, I didn't grow up in a wealthy home. I come from an average family, financially speaking. But then my parents believed that education was key, was very important. It was the solution to most of the challenges that we were facing. And so my father, even though he wasn't well-to-do to that extent, knew the importance of sending me to a very good school. This is just the background. Remember the topic, fearless living. And so he sent me to a very good school. In fact, at some point, the governor's son was my classmate. Now, these people were very rich people, but we came from the average level, and we lived far away from most of my classmates. So I was living at the outskirts, very far from the school. So we either trek to school or get dropped there by cyclists or whatever mode of transportation we found available. And so the social life that I had growing up was mainly from either the school or from the church. Now, because of the social stratification gap in the school, I couldn't really have friends that were personal from my school. So most of my social activities and my value as a person came from my activities in the church. I'm still coming. This is the background. If you've listened to me long enough, you would realize that I actually stammer. I don't know how many of you know that. Okay, fine. Now, growing up, I was a stammerer. I still stammer. If you listen long enough, you might still pick it up.
Yeah.
It came to a certain point on a particular day in church. There was this great occasion, great event that so many children, I was a child by then, so many kids were brought together for a special program in church. Mind you, most of my friends, those whom I related with, I did a whole lot of stuff with, were kids from the church. And so we came together, and there's this program thing we normally do. Someone would be preaching, the other person would be interpreting. I don't know if they still do that now. Now someone was preaching in English language while they chose me to Igbo language. That is actually a more difficult thing to do. So, bro, because I had done it before, I believe they felt I could do it. Unfortunately, on this particular day, it was so hard for me to make out the words. I stammered so much, the speech, the whole message could not even continue. At a point, I had to be substituted from that big stage. I had to be asked to go and sit down, and someone else replaced me in front of all the kids from
Wow.
whom my sense of value, my sense of belonging, and all of that. So it was a very big blow to my self-confidence. It was a very big blow to my ability to speak. Following that incident, I realized the fear of public speaking was better in me. Oftentimes, I have what to say. I love to speak. But then that fear that I was going to stammer and embarrass myself in public kept nagging at my heart. I see myself somewhere, there's a question has been asked, I have the answer, but while some other people might be thinking about the answer, what I'm thinking about is, should I speak? Should I not speak? Should I raise my hand? Should I not raise my hand? And that fear kept following me for a great part of my childhood. But I knew something. If I was going to succeed in life, if I was going to amount to anything, there was no way you're not going to talk. Look at us here today. If I am scared, I won't be here on Moments with Vanessa. You get it?
Exactly.
I don't know how many people are watching from the other side. I don't know how many people are going to watch this later on. And so the fear would have made me, if I did not rise above that fear, I wouldn't even be here today. So that fear continued through secondary school. I found myself, always battling with it. But there was something differently, which I'm going to tell you about today. In as much as that fear was there, in as much as that apprehension, that fear that I was going to stammer and I was going to embarrass myself, or in as much as even though I still stammered while speaking, I never stopped. I did not stop talking. In class, anyone who went to school with me knows that if one person was going to ask a question at the end of a lecture, that person is likely to be Chidiebere and Nwachukwu. Seriously. In secondary school, in fact, it was so serious that on my certificate in primary school, my teacher wrote there, has a high sense of inquisitiveness. You can't be inquisitive without speaking. And one other teacher used to call me Parrot Nwachukwu. Are we together? So I did not let that fear to paralyze me. I realized something. The more I spoke, the more I told myself, you cannot let this happen to you. The more I told myself, you cannot limit yourself in life because of this. There are many exams you need to write in life that requires you to speak. There are many opportunities that you're going to have to talk. In fact, and within me, I kept feeling the desire to speak, which means God had something for me to say. So, hello, why did you make me a stammerer? Why did you make me unable to communicate my ideas? And then you put so much thought in me to communicate with people. So when you look at this, you see a whole lot of emotional pain growing up, turmoil, struggles that people do not see. But I had to climb above them. I realized that the greatest risk for me to stammer was fear. Every time I had an opportunity to speak, my heart was pounding, my pulse rate would rise, I would begin to sweat, I would begin to imagine myself stammering. There were so many things that kept going through my mind. And while the person beside me was thinking of the fact they were going to share, I was thinking of how I was going to share the facts that I already had. It was a different battle for me. It's not a battle of ideas. It's not a battle of knowledge. It was a battle of fear, the mind. And if I was going to overcome, I had to overcome that fear, first of all. If not, nobody was going to hear my thoughts. If I did not overcome the fear of speaking, nobody would ever hear my thoughts.
That's true.
So, by the time I succeeded in gradually and steadily saying no to the emotions of fear when I had to speak, my speech continued to improve and to improve and to improve. And so the more I spoke, the less I stammered. I still stammer today. But then I don't let the fear to paralyze me. I realized that the fear was the major problem that I had. And so fighting the fear was the first key to fighting the problem. And over time, I have succeeded in burying that fear deep down, even though it's still there. I still struggle with it, but I choose to do what? Fearless. 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 You know, fearing less is different from fearlessness. Fearlessness means there is no fear at all.
There's no
Like,
yeah.
you know, there's nothing I'm fearing and all that. No, it's not the situation here. It's a key. It's a matter of continuing to fear less. I don't know what you're facing today, and you think, oh, I cannot really get fearless in this matter. How could I achieve this? You don't have to get completely fearless in one day. You just have to do what? Every day, become 1% fearless.
Fearless.
1%. Fearless by 1%. Every single day, every opportunity you have to do that thing that causes you fear, you do what? You fear less by 1%. You work on your mind. You tell yourself, I could actually do this. So why do I let fear? And guess what? The fear stops you from doing that thing. However, if you're able to rise above that fear and do what you are scared to do, every time you do that, you kill that fear by 1%. Every time you do that, you kill that fear by 2%. And it keeps going down until you get better at it. And so despite being a stammerer, I have gone through secondary school, through university. I've done so many things. I've won so many prizes. I've attended quiz competitions, which were things that I had to speak, both in church and in school. I've won lots of awards. In fact, in 2006, I won the National LMPC Science Competition. And that granted me a scholarship through university. Yes, they paid for my education. What if I didn't want to speak? I had to talk in all those competitions. The last 4 stages, I had to be speaking. And went through medical school. Anybody who has been to med school, you know that there are so many opportunities to talk. By force, you don't have a choice. In the clinical rotations, you're going to talk. In your vivas, you're going to talk. In your exams, everywhere. In the clinics, the consultant is going to ask you a question. In the ward rounds, you're going to present cases. And all these things, you know what? Every single time I had to do one of those things, I battled with the fear of speaking. But I went through med school without failing one exam. Every time I found myself at an interview, fortunately, I don't know if it's a good thing or it's a bad thing, but I've had to work in so many jobs. And many of those jobs required me to talk to get the job. I had to speak. One of those ones, we were 40 and they needed just 9 people. I found myself in that room. By the time I began to speak to the man, I spoke with so much self-confidence, self-esteem. I had so much confidence. Even though he noticed I was stammering, he asked me, do you have a speech defect? I told him yes. At the end of the day, I was one of the 9 people out of 40.
Wow.
Who were. And most of all those other people did not have any speech problem. So what was the difference? It was fearlessness. Fearing less. You cannot face life with fear. Come on, there's a whole lot that is on the table to take away that if you let fear to continue to grow in your mind, you're going to be limited to life.
That's true.
You cannot really climb to the apex of what you want to do. You are going to watch opportunities pass you by because you never attempted to do it. You never attempted to take the bull by the horn because you were afraid.
That's true.
This same fear of speaking would have cost me my wife today because I had the courage to speak to a beauty queen with my stammering and all, and she still accepted me. And I got married to her. Even about speech defect.
Wow.
So you cannot shortchange yourself through life because of fear. Fearlessness is something that is not optional. You must strive towards that. Most human beings struggle with this.
Yes, that's true.
We want to go for a job interview and something tells you, I am not good enough,
The
so many
best.
people are better than myself, why should they choose me? And you sit down and you're shaking, like you're shaking. And they can see through it. And once fear is spotted in you, it kind of puts a question mark to your abilities.
That's true.
They don't teach you this in school. This thing I'm telling you is not in school. It's not in your curriculum. Nobody taught me. It's not there. By the time you sit down in front of an audience or you stand up, your confidence is key. And you cannot have confidence without having fearlessness.
That's true.
If you're fearful, your confidence will be low. And that's how it affects your decisions in life. The things you want to do, you see yourself always second guessing yourself and performing below your capacity all through life.
That's true.
If I chose to let the fear of public speaking to paralyze me, we wouldn't be here today. There will be no more moments with Vanessa, with Dr. Chidi. See, I still stammer and people I don't know how they see it, I don't know how they take it, but I stopped being worried about how they were going to see it. I focused on the message I was passing. What am I teaching people? What do I want them to get from the talk? I've been invited to graduation speeches and I had to stand in front of them, and sometimes I stammered, but at the end, nobody ever spoke about my stammering. They spoke about the things, the knowledge, and the information I passed across.
Exactly.
And so the thing that I had was actually secondary, because what mattered more wasn't really how powerful the delivery was at so many points of my life, but the information in me that I was giving to my audience. Fear is very dangerous and cannot let it to eat you up in life. I'll tell you another story.
Okay.
This same fearlessness was transferred from not just my speaking life to the other aspects of my life. I found myself having the courage to do things that normal people would shake and quake and second guess themselves. I see myself doing those things. I'm going to tell you a story. Another story number 2. Sometime in 2018, I was in Abuja by then, and I was newly married, barely 1 year. My wife was pregnant, and I was working in a private hospital. Then this chance came to work at the Federal Medical Center down there in Abia State. So we decided to move down and take up the job. But something happened in between, and I realized it wasn't the best choice for the family. So I had to tell my wife to stay back right there in Abuja while I tried to come back to the FCT. It took me another 11 months of continuing to try to apply to jobs. I kept applying and seeking for jobs, flying people here and there to speak to people and all that, but it wasn't working. The more I tried, it looked like everything was blocked. And then from March 2018 down to December, at the point I was getting really frustrated. So, but what was keeping me there, right there? My family was apart. I wasn't happy with that. It was a young family, barely 1 year. So I wanted us to be together. But what was the problem? I didn't just want to stand up and move back to Abuja without a job. I felt I needed a job to be able to support family, even though my wife was working, but you have to work hard. So I needed a job. So I kept trying and trying and trying. And my biggest fear was coming back to town without having a job. I'm being jobless. So but it came to a point I had to tell myself, you see, young man, if you keep staying here, you don't know how long this residency training in quote is going to last. Residency training in surgery could take you as much as 7 years. So is that how long you want to keep your family apart? I had to ask myself that question. I had senior colleagues who knew that I was trying to go back to ABJ, and they told me a lot of stories. I saw people who had stayed 5 years in that hospital away from their families. And they told me it's always like that. When people come like you, just like you, they keep saying that they're going to go back. They keep attending interviews. Before you know, 1 year becomes 2 years, 2 years becomes 3, 4, and then 6. And I could see it. People were there, and they were experiencing that. And was that what I wanted for myself? I said no. There was something different about me than them. They were willing to accept the situation, and they felt they couldn't lose the job. And that was why they stayed there, separate from their families. There may be other factors, but many of them had tried to get jobs in other places.
Yeah.
But the fear of living where they are and not getting something else was a major reason for which they stayed back. Then I asked myself, is that my fear too? Yes, it was my fear. So what can I do differently to not be like them? February 1st, 2019. Even before then, I wrote a resignation letter. I didn't have any job. I wrote my resignation letter, and then I applied for a 1-month leave to give me one buffer, 1 month space to hustle. So when they granted me, February 1, 2019, I drove out of Umuahia. I gave my apartment to my friend. I handed my resignation letter to someone and told him the date to submit it. I put a date on it and signed it myself and gave it to him. I packed my load and then I drove away. I remember driving through Owerri and staying with my family for one night. And then on Saturday, that first was a Friday. On Saturday, I was driving back to Abuja without a job. Hello, who quits a federal government job without an alternative in Nigeria? Who does that? My father-in-law had called me to advise me, oh no, you can't do this, you do too late, all that. My senior colleagues had told me, oh no, Chidi, you cannot do this. Many people I love had called me to tell me not to. I knew they meant well for me, but I knew what I wanted for myself. So I remember driving back to ABJ. On my way back to Abuja on Saturday, I got a phone call while driving. My friend in Abuja, in one of the federal hospitals there, called me on my way driving back. Mind you, I didn't have a job. I was just going to hospital. That was all. Whatever I saw, I was going to take it. Whatever it took, I was ready and convinced that I wanted to reunite my family. As I was driving back, I got a phone call from my friend, and he told me, where are you? My hospital is hiring people, and so far 2 people have already resumed. We just got accreditation for surgery, and they're hiring. I said, oh really? I can't be faster than I am. I'm on the way coming back. I was already on the way, even without having this information. So I wasn't. I had packed my load, everything I had. Because I lived a very low profile life, so everything I had was in the car. Everything I wanted to take back was in the car. I gave out the ones I wasn't bringing back. So I was already relocating when this call came in. I told him, fine, I'll be there on Monday. So I drove Saturday, I got home. On Sunday, I went to my friend's house. He was just a regular doctor in the hospital, so it's not like he had some high connection that he was going to help me with. No. So I spoke to him. He told me, yes, tomorrow just go and see the CMAC and speak with him. I said, fine. So on Monday morning, I photocopied my credentials, everything. Mind you, I just resigned. I just quit my other job. So I arrived here, photocopied my credentials, and then by 9 o'clock or so in the morning, I was at the hospital. I sat down. I had 2 sets of credentials. One of them had some of the VIPs that wrote recommendation letters for me. I wanted to show to the MD and all that. I kept it on one side. I said, peradventure, I see an opportunity that does not require this high-profile people. I'll just take it. I made one application that was just plain, no VIP letter and all of that. And that was what I was going to show the CMAC, whom I have never met before. I had never met this man before. And so that morning, I sat there waiting for him to come to work. And then he arrived with another doctor, a senior colleague.
Wow.
And the people went into the office. So Immediately he entered, I followed him. I don't know him from anywhere. When I walked into his office, he looked up. I said, young man, how are you? Who are you? How can I help you? I told him I'm Dr. Chidiebere. I want to become a medical doctor. I came here to apply for a job. I heard of the vacancy in surgery, and that's why I came. He looked at me. He was like, okay, can I see your application? I handed it over to him, the plain one. Mind you, I had to. I gave him the plain one. He flipped through it. He told me, where did you train? I told him I trained at University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital. He said, okay, have you passed your primaries exam? For those who are watching who are not colleagues, primary is the exam you need to get into residency training. I told him, yes, I have the national, I have the West African College. He said, okay. He flipped through. Guess what he said next? He came at the right time.
Wow.
On my application, on the spot, he wrote approved.
Wow.
To hand him his employment letter, as in he wrote something there, I took it straight to the admin office, and by 12 noon on Monday morning, I had a new job.
Wow. Yay.
12 noon, I just quit my job on Friday, and on Monday, I had a new job.
A new one.
I never saw. What if I never drove away? I'm not telling people to quit their jobs. Don't quit your job and say it's better to quit our job. What I'm saying is the principle. People follow me know I don't teach methods, I teach principle. Principle here is fearlessness.
Exactly.
Taking life, taking the book by the horn, grabbing life by the throat.
Exactly.
Monday morning, I had a job, and I went to meet, he told me I could actually start on that Monday if I wanted to work. I said, no lie. I was like, no. I need to rest a bit. I just jumped a very huge mountain, So I took off time Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and I resumed work on Thursday. So you see, fear could have kept me there.
Yes.
That was the stepping stones to so many other things that have happened in my life. I was exposed to so many other people. I know so many other things have happened, which is not time to share with you here. So you see, if I did not take the bull by the horn, if I did not drive out of that place on that particular day, mind you, after me, they did not hire any other person for nearly 1 year. I was the third and last person they needed. They needed 3 people. 2 people resumed within the week. And I drove in on Saturday and got my slot on Monday. Someone came later and they said they needed just 3 for a start to add to those whom they already had.
Yeah.
Fear could have kept me trapped down there at that stage, kept my family apart. Maybe I would still be there today, scared of what might happen.
That's true.
Scared of what will go wrong. Scared of, fear. Someone defined fear as false experiences appearing real. False things, they are false. Not all, many of them are not real.
That's true.
I have made such mind-boggling moves, so many of them in my life, and guess what? 80% of the time, 85%, they have worked. I succeeded in that thing I wanted to do. It's not always like that, but 85% of the times it works. And remember, you're the sum total of your decisions. You're the sum total of your decisions. So if I took 100 decisions and 90% of them worked, then it means if I did not take them, I wouldn't even be where I am today. So many things that have happened will not be there. Maybe I would never have gone to medical school. I'd have chosen a profession that required me to speak less. I'd have chosen a profession where I don't have to meet with people. Today, I have worked as a medic for over 7 years in a profession that requires talking every single day. Every day I go to work, I talk. Even today, I'm going to work, I'm going to talk to people. So what if I let the fear of speaking, because of what happened to me as a child, stammering, even as an adult, to stop me? You see that so many other things, the mind doctor you know of today would not be existing. Because
Exactly.
I would be so fearful and regretting the decision that I've taken in life that I will have nothing to tell you.
Exactly.
So fearfulness is a very big mind cancer. Fear is a mind cancer. It's a big emotional problem. And I realized that problems of the mind are the biggest problems that people have to face. It's not really money. It's not really your friends. It's not your family. It's not spiritual. It's mind problems are the biggest problem. A little wonder one would have expected a medical doctor to be speaking about the brain, the heart, the bones, and all that. But you see on the social media space, 90% of what I share are issues of the mind. I share my stories, and within them, I put the lessons and the principles of mind liberation that I want to pass across.
Exactly.
That Mind Clinic platform. What are we discussing there? We're motivating people to excellence. We are encouraging people to become the best that they can be.
That's true.
What are we sharing here today? Fear, fearless living, problems of the mind, motivation, courage, taking risks. Sometimes I shared a post today, or was it yesterday, that you will not always see the safety net before you jump. Sometimes we need to jump even when we don't know how or where we are going to land.
That is true. That's the absolute truth.
You have to jump. You just have to take that leap. That business idea you have to start doing something. Some people say, I want to travel out of Nigeria, I want to go here and there. And you ask them, hello, can I see your international passport? And they laugh and they say, I don't have any. How? It means you don't even believe in what you want to do. You don't even believe in what you're saying. Because the first step to leaving any country legally is
having a passport.
Is what you need to do. And so you need to show the signs and symptoms that you really want to achieve that stuff.
That's true. That's true. Wow.
I don't know. How many minutes more do I have, please? I'm seeing my time here. How many more minutes?
It's actually 7:53 at the moment. It's actually 7:53. Yeah. So I'll say like 10 minutes.
Okay, fine. So
10 minutes, yeah.
So you see,
But please, if you have any question, please drop it on the comment section so that once he's done, we can start and he can start answering the questions. All right, go on, Sam.
So you cannot achieve anything in life with fear holding you down. You must climb above it. You must solve this mind problem. You must encourage yourself. You must climb out of your skin. For me, every time someone tells me that I want to speak somewhere or do one thing that requires talking, my own fears, my own demons try to come back. But I have to say, no, I've been speaking here for close to 30 minutes now, and you barely heard me stammer, and yet I'm a stammerer. I know you're surprised. I know you don't even believe me for some people who are just watching for the first time. But if you watch some of my videos, you will see I stammer. But I realized that fear, anxiety was the biggest risk factor that I had to overcome in order to overcome this challenge. You don't have to destroy the fear completely. The fear doesn't have to be absent completely. It may still be there. But remember what I said. All you need to do is to do what? Fearless. Fearless. That nail that makes you tremble, you fear less. 1% fearless. As you keep going on like that, before you know it, you get proficient, you have the confidence and you have the courage to do what you have to do. Someone just shared that courage isn't the absence of fear, but one's ability to move ahead despite the fear. It's in the comment section. It's true.
Yeah.
I have a friend who has been talking about fearless living for a while, and she always says something like this: do it even afraid. Do it afraid.
Yeah.
Do it fearful. Even though you are afraid, still go ahead and do it. Great speakers like T.D. Jakes. Who would believe that T.D. Jakes used to be a stammerer? Who would believe that? T.D. Jakes had a speech defect. People thought he was never going to be a minister because of that. But today, he's a celebrated international global speaker. Yes. God chose Moses to do his work. Guess what? Moses was a stammerer just like me. And so it appears that whatever God wants you to do, he gives you the first test, which is to overcome fear. Because when God told Moses, you are going to take my children from Egypt to the promised land, what was the thing Moses told him? What was the excuse Moses wanted to give him? It wasn't no, I cannot. It wasn't no, I don't have courage. It was what? I am a stammerer. How would people listen to me? Before I say one word, church has closed. But God says, no. It is you I want. So what is going to make you known and prominent in life will likely come packaged with something that tries to discourage you. There's going to be something in that your gift that will try to discourage you from really taking it to the next level. And so you must overcome the fear problem first to be able to unwrap your gift and showcase yourself to the world. If I continued having my fear of public speaking, I would not be able to share my thoughts on fearlessness with you today. I will not be able to share all the ideas that I have about mindfulness with you. So, fear is so bad that even the Bible had to write in Revelation chapter 21 verse 8. I don't know if you can share it there, Dr. Vanessa. I sent it for you earlier in the private chat. About
yes.
fear. Yes. I want everybody to see.
You said. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me.
There are so many sins in the world. But when God wanted to write about those the sins that will take you to hellfire, the first sin he mentioned was fear. It says there in Revelation 21 verse 8, it says, but the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and the murderer. See, fear came before murder. Fear came even before prostitution. Fear came before sorcery. Fear came before idolatry. Fear came before lying. Fear came before so many things. It's that bad that when God wanted to write about those who were going to cast into hell, fear was number one. Because fear will stop you from achieving the purpose for which he put you in this world. Fear will stop you. Fear would stop you. Fear would stop you. And so God wrote there, the fearful. Number one, the fearful. You must climb and rise above fear. If you're going to do anything, many people, all the great men you know, faced this problem. But one unique thing about them was that they rose above that fear. To do what Dr. Vanessa does here, trust me, she had to climb above a whole lot of fear. Public scrutiny, what are my colleagues going to say? What are my senior colleagues going to say? My colleagues at work will say, see this one, what is she trying to do here? What is she even claiming? Moments with Vanessa. What do you know? Moments with Vanessa. What kind of thing is that? What are you know? Those are some of the funny, tiny fears that people who do remarkable things go through in their mind before they come out. It took me months to move from the ideation phase of Mind Clinic to really get to where we are today. I had to work on myself in the background. I had to see myself speaking to people without stammering, or at least stammering just a little, but not enough to not let people get my message. I had to win the battle of the mind before coming out here to present myself to you and the rest of the world. And so you will not amount to anything if fear continues to weigh you down. You always tell us you always had that idea. And someone will do something, you say, yes, I thought about it as well. Hello, so why did you do it? It's not as easy as it seems. There's a lot of battle in the minds of people, and fear is key. And so whatever it is that you're struggling with, whatever is the fear that you are fighting, whatever are the demons you have within you that might be stopping you, my message to you today is simple. Is one, do what? Fear less.
Less.
Many people in the world are so fearful that if only you could fear less, then you would do amazing things and stamp your name on the sands of time. Thank you very much, Dr. Vanessa.
Wow. Wow. I really, really enjoyed this session. And the mere fact that you emphasized a lot on the word fearless. I really like the dimension you went to in this series, because there's a saying that every single thing you want to achieve in life, every single thing you've aspired or you want to achieve in life is on the other side of fear. Fear cripples. Oh my God! If just as Dr. Chidiebere said, before you can achieve anything, a lot of people see people doing things and you're like, wow, I'm so happy for you. I want to be like you. I want to be. But you will understand that there are so many things these people had to conquer, had to work on, to get to where they are today. Just like Dr. Chidiebere shared with us, he shared the stages it took him from the job aspect, even before he created the Mind series with Dr. Chidiebere. He told us all the things that went on behind the scene. That is not even far from mine. If someone had told me years ago that I would have anything to do with public speaking, I would have probably laughed it off, because I wasn't even till now, and I'm still an introvert. I'm still very much introverted. So it's not like I am an extrovert. I can talk in public and all that, but I've spoken on different platforms. Even the First Lady of Enugu State have invited me for an event where I spoke to young girls. So just imagine I had allowed that limitation to cage me. How would I have gotten this far? How would I even have, created this platform where we are right now, the Moments with Vanessa tribe? So every single thing you have ever aspired to have, every single thing that you need to have in life is opposite or on the other side of fear. I love the dimension that Dr. Chidiebere really, really took us to this evening, because I've met a lot of people. You're saying, oh, you want to do this, you want to, I'm tired of hearing I want to do. I usually tell people, start doing. And then when you see people doing things, you think that, oh, they saw everything together before they started. They did not. Like, there's nothing I've ever achieved in this my life, or I have done in this my life, that I saw the length is to go. The only thing I dare to keep doing is to keep dreaming. I dare to keep enlarging my vision in my mind. But aside from that, I don't see everything together, and then because of it, I'll be encouraged to take a step. No, I just start. Like, once I get an inspiration and I feel and I look through it and all that, I just jump on it, and I'm convinced I want to do it. I jump on it without even seeing the end from. But sometimes people will tell you, I want to do something, I want to start a business, I want to do this, and then start now. They keep building a lot of mountains in front of them. I don't have this, I've not seen this, I will not do this. A lot of people started business with little, and they're raking in millions now. And what the difference between them and you is that you just kept building fear. You just kept developing fear. So my husband will call it manufacturing fear. Manufacturing things to keep you stagnant. It's just about starting. Starting. See the way Dr. Chidiebere just left, the job. It was obvious to him that people will come to work in that particular place. You're away from your family. years and years and years and years you've not seen your family. And of course, it's not always healthy for, as he said then, it was still a new family, to just be apart for so long. And he took that step even without knowing that he was going to get a job the next few days. He just wrote his resignation letter and moved. The lesson in that is that whatever you aspire, whatever it is that you have, whatever it is that you dream of achieving in your life, you don't need to see all the pieces put together before you now decide to step out. Then where is the where is the story? Where is the story that you used to teach the next generation if everything was together before you started? That is one lesson I also picked from Dr. Chidiebere's story. He did not see anything, he just moved. And I love the way he emphasized on that fearless. It doesn't mean that you should be fearless, like fear is gone totally. No, but you could fear less. There's still some things I want to do and the fear comes in, but what do? I fear less and I move. I've heard, in fact, someone has told me that as a compliment, that one thing about me is that once I put my mind to something, that I achieve it irrespective of whatever is on my way. That even when I see a lot of roadblocks, I pull through, and all that. So when I heard that, I was like, oh, that means it's working. I never allow anything stop me. That's why I love the kind of energy I have around me. That is another key thing. What kind of people do you have around you? What kind of energy do you have around you? Do you have negative energy so much? That's why whenever there's any issue around me or any issue with anyone, I try to sort it out immediately. I don't like any form of, energy hindering, my mind from, shooting out or aiming for the target. So now I want to read some of our comments. Tonight has been amazing though. Like, I've really, really been. Okay, we have Moha Isaac. Okay, when he was greeting us. Okay, we have Jennifer Cargo. All of you are welcome. I really appreciate your presence in this April edition. Okay, Amamira. Obianu Jumba Nugu, welcome. Goodness, welcome. Chukweloka Nwemike, welcome. Oge Benita, you're welcome. Joshua Sami says, we take courage, fear limits. Exactly. Joshua, he also said, courage isn't the absence of fear, but one's ability to move ahead despite the fear. That's the truth. When you see people doing stuff or you see people who are moving, it doesn't mean that there is no fear. It's one's ability to move despite the fear, Then he also said this is Moha Isaac. He said fear is one of the major problems most people are facing today. Exactly. I hear a lot of, I get a lot. I have a lot of people in my life that it's so obvious that is what is keeping them from their present to their next level. Then Joshua Sami says fear is dangerous. Also Machidera, she said, wow. Amara Musi, wow. I guess that was when you got the job on Monday. I too exclaimed, wow. Then Amara Musi, welcome, Mal. Her name, she said, fear is a limitation, definitely. Isaac says, wow, that was a great and miraculous one. Definitely, it is. Okay, he said, thank you, Dr. Chidi, for sharing with us. But seriously, that is really a very wonderful illustration of something you did, even with fear, even writing that resignation alone, even with everyone, giving their own counsel, your father-in-law and everything. There's this belief that once you have a federal government job, there's security, now you shouldn't leave it and all that. But you took that leap and this is where you got to. Sincerely, a lot of times it's very, very important to just ask yourself. Like, one question I usually ask myself is, why not? Like, whenever I come to a stage in my life and I need to do something, I need to start something, I need to, when I started this winning through the battles of the mind, I started it last year and it was during the pandemic. when the inspiration came, I just thought I wanted to say why should I even start this? I was just battling the battles of the mind was going on. And one thing I just asked myself is, why not? And I started it. And to God be the glory, we're almost getting to a year, a year of this particular arm of Moments with Vanessa brand. It has been consistent, it has been steady, And the truth of the matter is that at the beginning, people might not support you. When I started off everything I was doing, I didn't have a lot of supporters. But when people see your consistency, when people see, oh, you're really doing something, it attracts a lot of people want to, support your vision. You might be starting out in that business now and nobody is supporting you, nobody is patronizing you. Keep striving. One thing very consistent is that once they see this girl or this lady or this man is serious about this thing, it might take 1 year, it might take months, it might take weeks, but one thing it will do is that they would actually understand that you're serious about this thing. You're consistent, and that is even when they will actually show interest in supporting your vision. I really, really enjoyed tonight's session. I don't know if we have any questions. I would like us to drop our questions. First, Nachi, welcome. She said, fear is a great limitation. Definitely, fear is a great limitation. So if there's nothing that we are leaving this session with, is you might not necessarily eliminate the total fear, but fear less. You cannot achieve anything if you decide to just remain where you are and you're waiting for all the pieces of your life to come together and you can see it before you move. You won't even go anywhere. You won't even move. When I was starting out, I did not know where I was heading. I didn't even know. And as the years keep coming by, my vision is changing. The brand is everything is rebranding. So fearless. Everything you need is on the other side of fear. Wow, I really enjoyed tonight's session. So does anyone have any question? So in the meantime, just as I said at the beginning, I would like to give out the free slot into the Moments with Vanessa book club. It was launched last month, and the book of the month is currently on review. We meet every Friday from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. and it's been amazing. The book of the month is awesome. We have Nancy Legacy that is very good at what she does as the moderator of the book club, and it's been awesome. So I want to give out a free slot into the Moments with Vanessa book club. So I would like to ask a question. If anyone gets it, I'll reach out to you privately for your with subsequent instructions. So I'm giving out the free slot because the book club is actually not a free. There's a yearly subscription to join the book club. I didn't add it to the flyer, but for those who joined the WhatsApp link that was sent when it was launched, they were given the instruction that they paid 1,500 for a whole year. So if I'm giving you the free slot, it means you're not going to pay for the whole of 2021. So I would like to know, there's a word that Dr. Chidiebere used today. The way I'll ask the question is, dash is different from being dash. If I wait small and nobody else, I'll give a clue. Okay, the clue is that the two words, the two dash, actually the same spelling. It's actually the same spelling. So I want you to answer, what was the statement Dr. Chidiebere made? He said, dash is different from being dash. These two dashes are almost the same spelling. So I think that question is straightforward enough. Yeah. So if you are really listening to him from the beginning, you would know what I'm talking about. Dash is different from being dash. So I'd like to hear whoever gets it joins the Moments with Vanessa book club, and it's awesome. Yay. Okay, so let's see if there are any questions. I really would have loved us to ask questions. Okay, Isaac said fearless and fearlessness. No.
He's
No.
just a little. You can tweak it a bit. He's almost there.
Yes.
He's almost there, but just he's almost there.
They are almost the same spelling. Yeah. Oh, they are the same spelling, self, but yeah. It's a word that he consistently used. Well, you're very close, Isaac. I'm not saying that you're not close, but like you didn't get the exact. Maybe one of your answers is correct. Yeah, one of your answers is correct, but I think it was misplaced. And yeah, so the question is, dash is different from being dash. Okay, so let me ask you a question before we round off. The time is fast spent. I want to ask you a question, sir. What happens to someone who is determined to, what advice would you give to someone who wants to start up something? You want to start up a business, or you want to take a bold step, and money is your limitation. Because sometimes the source of fear that people actually encounter could be finances. So what happens to someone who the person wants to start up a business or start up something new, maybe start up an initiative, and the person is so scared of taking that bold step as a result of limited finances? I've heard people who took a bold step even without seeing anything or having anything. I remember when I started my NGO, Green Eyes Foundation, in as much as it's on hold for now, it will be relaunched soon. I did not see anything. I just started out, and that foundation really, really blessed a lot of lives. It started out in 2016. So a lot of times this thing is, I have a lot of people close to me, and as I'm speaking to them, I'll be telling them, just start, things will align. I'll get a lot of examples, talk to them, but you still find them still being caged and limited by that thought of there's no money, I can't do this. So what words will you tell that person who is battling with that fear right now?
Okay, the thing is this: there is not many people, even the big businesses, there is hardly any one of them, including Microsoft, that started with a lot of cash, or that saw the money they were going to use to become what they are today at the beginning. In fact, Bill Gates was working for IBM when he came up with the software thing. At that point, it was a matter of the DOS. It was very complex. The whole computer thing was not what it is today. And so when he began, he was an employee. So you can imagine he didn't have a lot of cash. And so he presented his idea to IBM board. And they said, let's just keep it somewhere for now. They didn't buy into it. And then he went to his garage, and Microsoft, here we are today. Every IBM computer has Microsoft on it. Did Bill Gates have the money he needed at the beginning? No. Almost every business, even Facebook, where we are now, he didn't have the money for Facebook when he started. He was a student, don't forget. He was a student. But when he began, and Facebook was not his first social media application, it was not his first messaging application. He had created the face smash and all of that before. That failed and caused a lot of problems in Harvard. You see, before he came up with an improved version and now called it Facebook. And then he began to do what he did. Somehow, one of his friends, I can't remember his name now, had business ideas, knew how to meet with the investors. And so his friend saw that his idea was good, And it was that his friend that ran with the business aspect of the whole Facebook thing, bringing him to investors, bringing him to people that would contribute. And before you know it, people were coming to not just contribute, but to buy. Many people wanted to buy Facebook at the beginning. Google tried to buy, Yahoo tried to buy, but Mark Zuckerberg said no. Then, since you are not looking very wonderful, it was just a little money here, a little money there. They were in the hostel and they moved from place to place. They were not really big. On the big break they had was when Bill Gates saw what was happening and bought one tiny percentage of the share of Facebook for $250 million. Everybody woke up like, hello, if Baba can do this, it means there is something in this business. And that's how more money just flooded in. Today, Facebook is worth billions and billions of dollars. If you wanted to see the billions of dollars today, he's like, at the point, he was the sixth richest man. If you wanted to see that before he starts, there will be no Facebook today.
Exactly.
Now,
exactly.
The key is this: people don't buy into your ideas. They buy into what they can see. They buy into your belief. It's not just your what. Everybody has big stuff in their head. So when you need to start something, you have to see something to believe in you. Here we are. You would never have known me. I have always had the knowledge that I'm sharing with you today. But if I did not start writing on my platform, creating Mind Clinic, creating Rema, and making noise all over the place with my articles and my stories, we will not be here today.
Exactly. That's true.
People do not know, but what we do here is not free. Hello? It's not free. I have someone I pay to handle my IT stuff. Yes, I pay someone. And we hardly make any money. So far, so good. So you see, it's not always about the money. You need to start something. It's when people see what you're doing. In fact, it is what you do that you're going to present to them, and then the venture capital will come to you. See Paystack, for instance. Let's talk about him. Now, when they began Paystack, they needed some money to move the Paystack to what it is today. But these two guys, I think Shola and the other person, I can't remember his name, they were working hand in hand and they did not have the cash, so they needed venture capital. They were applying, trying to get into one thing or the other. But even while these things were happening, they were improving on the app, improving on their product, and people who were finding problems with payment, companies that had issues with payment, began to reach out to him, even before he had the capacity to pay them. I don't know if you understand how Paystack works with this. When you pay to Paystack. Now, Paystack, when people want to buy your product, they pay to Paystack. Now, Paystack deducts their own fees and then credits your account with that money, the rest of the money. Now, at the time they were beginning, they didn't really have the whole finances and they have not figured out everything on how to pay people back their money. That is when people buy from you and pay to Paystack. Paystack was not really ready to begin to pay you. I don't know if you get that point. Now, but because of the belief people had in what they were already doing, not what was in their head, these guys are already doing something. Do you know what? Some people already began to give their money to Paystack, even when Paystack could not pay them. Companies were already sending out Paystack links for people to pay through, even when they knew Paystack cannot credit them with that money yet. If Paystack did not start and create the platform for you to even pay them in the first place, they would never have been able to now pay people and complete the whole cycle. So you must start somewhere. Later on, they got the money they wanted, even much more than they wanted. Millions
when they started.
They got the venture capital they needed. But they started even before the
they
money
could
came.
get the money. Yes.
Yes. In fact, when they went, they had to meet with so many like people that wanted to invest and speak. So they told them all the big stories. They asked them, "What are you doing? What is your product?" And they said, "We are creating Stripe for Africa." Simple. We are creating Stripe for Africa. This was the brand. But many of those people did not invest in them at first time. And so even though they were not accepted initially, they did not stop because of the money. They kept building on their product, and Nigerians, local businesses began to key in and even send their monies to Paystack. By the time the venture capital came, people had already invested. Local people had already started sending money. So you cannot
Wow.
wait till you have money. Let me tell you one more thing very quickly. When I wanted to get married, I was a couple then. I proposed to my wife during house job or towards the end of house job. And so at the time I went to the church to declare my intention, I had done so many other things, but the raw cash in my account on that particular Sunday that I filled that form was 43,000 naira. That's
Wow.
crazy. I'm looking back and I'm like, guy, were you really normal? It was 43K, and I wrote it in that paper. And that was the beginning of everything. And 1 year later, truly, we were married. And guess what? A lot of the money didn't even come from me in the end. But if I was waiting, if you're waiting for people to come and give you money, go and marry, take money and go and marry, it never happened. But they saw the wedding date was fixed. Hello, even on the wedding week, someone called and said, "What is remaining in your plans?" And we told him. He gave us a check of 200,000 naira for her on the wedding week.
Wow.
So you cannot wait to have all the money you need. You must start something. Start that part that doesn't require money for now, and the money part will sort itself out. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much for the way you answered this question. I'm sure this is a struggle that a lot of people listening to this live session have, or I'm sure it's a stage or a struggle that a lot of people are encountering. And I've in the recent times, I've had to, have a conversation around this area. And I felt, the need to bring up this question. Because a lot of people always say, Vanessa, but this, but this. By the time I'm telling them, just take that step of faith, take that leap. A lot of times people are so contented being in their comfort zone. But the truth is that nothing great comes out of being in your comfort zone. You just become ordinary. I've always known that I want to be an extraordinary human. I wanted to be extraordinary. So there was no way I was supposed to relax in my comfort zone. So that's a conversation I've been having with people recently. Just take that leap of faith. I love the examples you gave, Facebook, Paystack, even you for your wedding. It just takes you telling yourself, and it's a battle of the mind. A lot of times this battle, in fact, they are never physical. Most of the time it is in the mind. By the time you say, what if not, what if this happens, what if, what the question I always ask or say out is, why not? Why shouldn't I do this? People are doing it. Or there is no impossibility in my dictionary. There is none. It is something I believe so much. There is no impossibility in my dictionary. Now, I mentioned earlier, who do you surround yourself with? Who are your mentors? I have a mentor who is so, oh my God, her mantra, one of her mantras is to be too focused to give up. With that kind of person, in your life, in your space, you can't just relax in your comfort zone. I have this belief that as long as I can think it, I can achieve it. The world is mine for the taking. I always say it. Yeah. There is nothing I want to do now that if I set out to do, I will not do. There are sometimes that I want to meet maybe a high profile person, and Your mind will just tell you why should you. I've been around some people that will say, if you go around them, if you go around some people, that they will make you treat you somehow. I told her, no, 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 no. Nobody has the right to treat me anyhow. It is how you present yourself to someone that the person will treat you. Do you understand? So when I come for such events, I go for my target. Who is the person I would like to meet? Who is the person I like to network with? Who is the person that I have a proposal for? I go to the person, greet the person politely, introduce myself, and ask for the person's contact or card. But first, I might give an introduction and then follow up later. So there is nothing too difficult. I keep saying it. Everything you want, everything you desire is on the other side of fear. If there is nothing you're living this night with, it is these two words: fearless. Fearless. Don't be fear. The fearless we're talking about is not. We're not talking about being fearless, like not having fear at all. We're talking about fearing less, just like as Dr. Chidiebere said. Fearless, like having less fear, even if it's reducing the one you already have. And then secondly, every single thing you want to achieve in life, your goals, everything is on the other side of fear. So take that bold step, take that leap of faith, do that thing, whatever it is. Take that bold step to decide, make that decision. Even if you can't pull the pieces together now, make that decision. Whoever it is that you want to reach out to, you can send a DM to the person. There is nothing stopping you. There is nothing stopping you. In fact, when I was in Nigeria, there's this TV show I love so much. And I just I loved one of the hosts, a female. And I just love the way she speaks. I love the way she airs her opinions and her views. Sometimes when they're having a conversation and she talks, she says the thing I would normally say. I just sent her a DM randomly. And she responded. Somebody else would be like, why would you? I sent a DM, she responded, and ever since then we've been talking. So there is nothing impossible. I have a contact now, we talk. In fact, and it just took me just sending that DM. Who is that person you need to talk to? Who is that person you need to connect with? What is that business you need to start? You don't need to put the pieces together. Just take that bold step. Take that. What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, go on. But let me just say something. Yeah. What's the worst? Okay, go on.
Even the two of us being here today started with one DM from me.
Exactly. That's true. It started from a DM, and you are the one that sent the DM. And from there, we do a lot of things that I like. And from there, once in a while, I check in, and I love the way you contribute to this group. It's been, I just take that step. And what's the worst that could happen? Whenever I go to speak to teenagers, then when I was in Nigeria, I go to secondary school, and I tell those that have low self-esteem, because I battled low self-esteem growing up. So I tell those that are, that have low self-esteem, I tell them, what's the worst that could happen? Your friends will laugh at you, the class will laugh at you, your teacher will call you Anolodo. After that, will you die? All of them will say no. But those are the things that were holding us down then. When I was in secondary school, I knew it. I would know the right answers, but stand up, plan and answer. My mind would be battling. What if not? What if not? So it's something that we should learn to focus. So by the time I worked on myself, you can't even hold me down. There is nothing. I say to myself, like, there is not, like, the world as it is now is mine for the taking. If I decide to do anything, all I need to do is to set my mind towards it. It will be achieved. So I would like that to be our mindset. I would like that to be our mindset going forward. What's the worst that could happen? You send the person the DM, the person says no. Tomorrow you could attend an event that the person is attending, and you meet the person one-on-one and introduce yourself. What's the worst that could happen? So just take that leap of faith. Okay, Joshua said, start, keep on, and don't stop. Exactly. I really, really enjoyed tonight's session, but our time is fast spent. And tonight, I believe that we have come to the end of today's session. But before we leave, I would say, Nwaha Isaac, the answer of the question is fearless. That's fearless is different from being fearless. That's what I was asking. Fearless, just that is the statement. Yeah, that is the statement that Dr. Chidiebere kept saying. Yeah. What did you say?
Fearless means to put space between the fear and the less.
Yes,
Fearless.
yeah,
And then
yes.
fearless.
Fearless, yeah. So the first one is fearless. That's fear is there's space in between fear and less. Is different from being fearless, which is together. So that is the answer of tonight's session. But because you actually attempted, and your second answer was you swapped the two answers, I will give you that free slot to the Moments with Vanessa book club. So Isaac, I'll send you a DM subsequently. You'll be joining the Moments with Vanessa book club. You know, I'll send you the details. Okay, Ebet, yeah. All right. So okay, Sammy said, I really enjoyed the show. Thank you so much, Ebe. That's Joshua, that's really, really nice to hear. Ebe said, I wish many young people would listen to you tonight. More grace. Thank you so much. Thank you. Joshua Sammy says, thank you so much, Vanessa and Dr. Chidiebere. Thank you so much. It gives me great joy whenever I have this Moments with Vanessa, this winning through the Battles of the Mind series. It holds every last Saturday of the month. Right here on the group, we bring men and women from all over the world to share their personal experience, personal struggles, and the principles that has kept them winning through the battles of the mind, to let you listening know that whatever you're going through in your personal space, your personal corner, wherever you are, that so many other people are going through the same thing, including those who are perceived to be successful. The only difference is that they chose not to allow you to limit them, but they chose to use it as a stepping stone to success. They chose to allow it to build them to who they to the person who they are. Because the truth is that most people you see today, we are born out of low moments, out of difficult situations. The Vanessa you see today was born out of a difficult situation. Like, I know prior to 2012 was a rough year for me. Prior to that, I was just a normal girl that was just there. But after that, my experience in 2012, I'll share that story subsequently. It had to do with medical school, But after my experience in 2012, that at that lowest moment of my life, this Vanessa you're listening to today was born, and I can't look back. Sometimes I wonder what I would have been if not for those moments. Subsequently, I've had other low moments, and it keeps birthing a new and refined Vanessa. So if there are no low moments, I really wonder what you'll be. So those difficult moments, those low moments are there to born or to give birth to a better you. It's there to actually develop a better you. Okay, Joshua says, what a time to be alive. It can only get better. Fear is a bastard like poverty. All right, Isaac says, wow, thank you so much, Vanessa. I appreciate it. Thank you too for even attempting the question. So I'll reach out to you privately. On this note, we'll call it a day. But before we leave, Dr. Chidiebere, do you have any last words for them, for the people that are listening? Do you have any last word for them?
My last word is the same words I've been using to do what?
Fearless. I love that. All right. On this note, we'll call it a day. See you all next the last Saturday of the month of May. But before then, just like I told us, we have the Gist with Vanessa and Esther that holds on the second Sunday of every month. That holds on Instagram. And my Instagram handle is Nessa_Nadi. On the Gist with Vanessa and Esther, we talk about everything relationship, marriage, and love. It's an informal conversation, where we just gist about things around that, because it is my belief that for you to be in a good place emotionally and mentally, your relationship should also be in a good place. Because the way you get angry with a friend, a colleague, or whatever is different from the kind of anger you feel towards someone you're emotionally invested in. So that is what bettered that particular segment. So I'm especially inviting you to look out for the flyer. It holds every second Sunday of the month. But for the Winning Through the Battles of the Mind series, I'll see you next on the last Saturday of the month of May. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.
All right.